And we are live. We're back. Hello and welcome to another edition of EFL Teacher Talk with Sean G. I am Sean Gallagher, your host for the talk show about EFL topics, for teacher topics, school management topics, and job hunting topics. Today we will be talking about a teaching topic, something that's very, very important to all EFL teachers, especially for young learners, teachers, and that is how to teach a song, how to teach an EFL song for the young learners market. Because this is, songs, with the young learners, we use a lot of songs in class. I think songs are wonderful. They really drive student engagement. I think they present well for the parents as well, because they think, oh, hey, my kid's learning English. It's something very, it's something that everybody can go see. I think a lot of times it's difficult for parents to know, is my kid actually doing anything in class? And I think songs are a great way. Number one, kids like them, they remember them, they want to do them, and the parents love it too. So we all need to be using lots of songs, especially our young learners, EFL classrooms. I'm thinking ages 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. Seems like interest kind of drops off there around the 6 years old. But yeah, they're very important for the young learners market. And I have a list of 5 very important tips for you to consider when you are teaching an EFL song. If you follow these steps, I guarantee you will be very, very successful with your EFL song teaching in your class. So, tip number 1 is know the song. So that seems kind of obvious, kind of like a no-brainer, but I think in some schools it seems like teachers are told to use a song, and they think they have to use the song. But I think what they're not hearing is, you have to be able to teach the song. It's not just using, playing the song in the class. So obviously, in order to teach the song properly, you need to know the song, which means you have to listen to it beforehand. You need to know all the lyrics. You need to know the dance movements that go with the song. So number 1, know your song, and things will be great. And number 2, there's a lot of pre-teaching going on in successful EFL song usage in the classroom. The first thing we do is I pre-teach the vocabulary. Songs, like I said, songs are wonderful to have in your class for many, many reasons. But at the same time, in an EFL classroom, what we're trying to do is we're trying to teach the kids English. And songs are great because they're saying things in English. But a lot of times, not a lot of times, but sometimes the kids can be able to sing a song but not actually understand what they're saying. Show of hands for everybody who's got head, shoulders, knees and. These are knees and. That's just an example of that. So anyway, the song is great, but we also want the kids to learn the actual vocabulary that goes along with the song. So I tend to separate that whole segment out. I teach it as a kind of a discrete body of knowledge and try to teach the vocabulary separately before you even try to start teaching the song. That's that. Number 2, in our kids' classes, pre-teach the actions. Of course you need actions for your songs. If you don't have actions for your songs, the kids aren't going to want to do them. So, and depending on the age range, if they're younger, you want to make things kind of slow and very easy to follow. If they're older, obviously you can get more complicated, and it seems like the students enjoy a higher level of sophistication in the dance moves as they get older. And this might even be a way to extend your ability to use songs into, maybe, 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old. If you're doing silly movements in class, like really complicated movements, they might still be interested in using a song in class. But anyway, I teach the actions separately, teach vocab separately, teach the accents separately. Also, I will pre-teach the melody. And I guess teach is not maybe the most accurate word there, but I want to expose them to the melody. I want the students to listen to the melody maybe before they actually start doing the song in the class. If you have a lobby in your school, maybe you could play the song in the lobby. If your kids mill about in your classroom before your class, maybe you could have the song playing in the background while they're just in class, almost as background music, and it's not something you're actively doing, but they'll hear the melody. The brain is going to hear it and is going to start to understand it, right? So, and we all like to sing songs that we know, and this is just moving the ball down the court a couple steps in helping their brain to learn the actual sounds of the song, which will help with the enjoyment of the song later. So that's our pre-teaching segments: pre-teach vocab, pre-teach actions, pre-teach the melody. Another thing we do is, of course, for young learners, you want to make it active. I guess this kind of goes with the actions, but yeah, you want to make sure that your movements to the class are appropriate for the level that you're teaching. And try to make it active because it's inherently fun, it's inherently interesting to move your body and maybe to try to mimic what someone else is doing, right? And then I think in the older classes, maybe we try and trick the kids. It could almost become kind of a Simon Says type of thing where they have to really watch what you're doing, or maybe not do what you're doing and listen to what you're saying instead. So, there's just a lot of different ways you can go with this, but make it active, make it physical, kinetic. It needs to be like that. After that, and you've actually done your song in your class, a lot of times you want to do it again. And you don't necessarily have to do it back to back, although you could. Sometimes if kids, even within the span of one song, if it seems like there was improvement within that little segment, maybe they didn't get it right at the beginning, I might just hit repeat and say, hey, let's try that again one more time. A lot of times kids want to do it again. So you could do that. Also, from class to class, from week to week, I think a lot of times you want to be using the same songs because, again, people like songs that they know. And, familiarity is comfortable and enjoyable. And then on the flip side of that, kind of, also, you need to watch out for curriculum fatigue. So there will come a point in your class when your students and or maybe some of the parents that are in your class are going to get tired of the wonderful song. And once I even start to smell just a little bit of this, if I see a little bit of student disinterest or disengagement, hey, they used to do the song very well, they used to be very engaged, but now they're not, then that is a clear sign that you need to go get a new song. And the good news here is that, especially nowadays, there are just tons and tons and tons of resources available. Most of them are available for free on YouTube. You can go down the list. There's the super simple stuff. You have Kenny King at Maple Leaf. Who else you got? Yeah, there's some of the classics like the Richard Graham Genki English series. We still even use some of the Let's Go. What was it before Let's Go? It was called something. It was just a musical bit. I forget the name of that. It's escaping me. But anyway, there's just tons and tons of great music available. So if you ever do get stuck in one of your class, you notice disengagements, the kids aren't interested in the song so much anymore, it's very, very easy to go find a new song, to reboot the whole cycle and rediscover the joy of learning a new song and a new activity. And I know for our 2-year-old classes, the Mommy and Me classes, I think we tell teachers to use a minimum of maybe 5 or 6 songs in there. They might spend half of the time doing songs in a 40-minute class, maybe not quite half, but right around there. And everybody loves it, and it's great. So those are just some quick teaching tips of how to use songs effectively in your EFL classroom. If you have any comments or suggestions, or maybe there's something that you're doing in your class that you'd like to share with others, please be sure to leave a comment below. Also, if you have any follow-up questions with anything, this channel is still kind of small enough where I will probably be able to respond to any questions that people put down below. In parting, one of the songs that we use an awful lot in class is the Potato Pals theme song. And I actually have a video of this that I will post a link for as well. It's a teacher training video of how we go about pre-teaching the song and the actions, and then how we do the actual song. So that's it for this week. Thank you very much for everybody for tuning in, and I hope everybody has a great week in their classrooms. If anybody's ever having any questions or comments, or you want to add to the discussion, please make sure you add to the comments below. Thanks everybody, and have a great week. Signing off.